Hello everyone, welcome back to the channel with another episode in bWAPP series. In this video, we are going to explore stored SQL injection or second-order SQL injection. From my point of view, this would be a more interesting but also a bit more challenging in comparison to other challenges in this series. Possibly, you have already heard about this second-order injection. Unfortunately, you don't know what it means exactly. So this is the reason why we need to take opportunity such as using bWAPP to learn how this vulnerability works and how to perform such injection. Before we go ahead, if you don't mind, please subscribe to my channel and give this video a thumbs up. It really helps the channel grow. So then we can head over to Linux VM to start. Let me start from fresh, yes, and select the bug to do in this video. Yes, this one, stored block, and we can click this button. So here we can add entry or add content. For example, like hello test, please support my channel, and add entry. And although we just input one piece of data, the content, but the table displays as 1, 2, 3, 4 columns information: number, serial number, owner. The owner, I think, should be current user, and data time and entry. This is what we inputted just now. And so what can we do next to perform SQL injection? And for example, we can try to put the single quote to detect or to identify whether the application is vulnerable to SQL injection. Okay, at entry, and we get error. So now we can think possibly this application is vulnerable to SQL injection. But it's not so easy. To make things easier, we can check its source code first. Okay, I've already got a copy of the source code from bbox machine. Okay, and let me, I've already opened up this file with VS Code editor. Yes, not this one. Sorry, not this one. Okay. Not yes, this one, maybe, yes, so this one. Let me review this source code. Of course, we need to pay more attention to PHP code part. Include some files. We already know that, like functions, external functions are defined in this file. And the next, this function is to enforce some sort of control or filter. And the low level always would be no check at all. But for the medium and high level, we'll introduce different types of filters. But based on my practice, both are difficult to expect, especially this function, because this will use MySQL escape function. Okay, let me scroll down. I think we can ignore HTML code. Okay, now we are coming to the key or critical part of this code. So here we'll check the array. This is the name is block, and this array has a different key value pairs like entry. This should be content, and login. Login. So this is the reason why we saw the B, because the user or owner will be retrieved from the session. Okay, and so the here entry message, and next. So if the entry is not empty, and then we'll this is the SQL query statement. Let me copy, because this is very important. Okay, let me open new tab. So this is the very standard insert statement into the table, a block table, and 3 columns: date, entry, and owner. And the date, the value will be generated by this noun function. And entry, this would be got from input, user's input. And owner, this is got from session, and use the this dot to make concatenation. Okay, and here this is the parentheses, and the of course here is using the single quotes. So entry, this single quote will will wrap, I think will wrap the entry, right? And then this one and this one will wrap the owner. Okay, and in the end we have this parentheses to wrap this one. Okay, very important. In order to perform injection, we need to understand how this query is constructed. Okay, so let me go back to this code, and so here we'll run this query, means this row would be added into the table. Okay, so next, the message, let's scroll down. Now we are coming to the next important part, or slips of this code. So here selects all the records. User inputs some content, and the content would be, all content would be displayed back. Okay, for example, we can put a new entry. All entries would be displayed on the page. Why? Because here is doing this query, select all from block table, and then we'll execute another query. And here, so I think this should be, so this is why we call this stored SQL injection, because at this stage, for example, this stage, we can input or inject some payload, and this payload would be, would be nothing, just save into the database, into the table. This will not, this will not be malicious. However, when the application executes the second query, I mean select all from the table, and at that time, the malicious payload, let me show you what malicious payload would be like, okay? And at this time, such malicious payload would be executed, okay? So how to do? So now I just explained this query statement. So how to do? I think we can use this kind of payload to test, for example, like a test, and we can use this single quote to close, close. Here, of course, in the front, we do not need to use this one because there'll be this single quote, okay? And the next, we can put different. Here, the owner is automatically got from session, but this time I'd like to insert different user, any user, for example, like a JSON. Of course, this user doesn't exist. It doesn't matter, okay? And next, of course, we need to close this because here there is parentheses, left parentheses. We need to have the right parentheses to wrap the values part. However, we need to ignore anything after that. For example, like this one and this. Okay. So how to do? We can use the comment symbol. So now let me copy this to see whether we can insert this payload entry. You see, this time the owner column is not a B, it's JSON, okay? And the test is the count, it doesn't matter, okay? So next, we can go further. We can try to, enumerate like a username, database name. So how to do? Let me go back to the notebook. Let me copy this payload. Next, we can construct the second payload. And here, we can use the select, like select user, okay? But very important, because this select, when we use union select, we do not need to use parentheses to wrap. However, this time, this select will be put inside this, query, or the outside query. Okay, so in order to this, select work properly, we need to use parentheses to wrap. Okay, so now let me copy and over here add entry. So here we can get the current username. If you want, we can get the database name. Okay, we can copy. Indeed, we can get back the database name. Also, we can get like a version, the version of database version. We can copy. And then, this is the version of database. Also, if you want, you can get back the database structure or schema. You can get the, different payloads for this purpose. Like we can use this one to retrieve the names of all schemas or database. We can copy. But of course, we need to do some modification because the situation is different. So here, here just the one column. So we can remove all of that, and we do not need to have the ulim, and then we can copy and replace this one, this one. Okay, let me copy entire payload and run it to see whether we can get back a database schema or not. Yes, there's 3 or 4 databases information schema. This is default database for MySQL, and the current database bWAPP, and this is another one, and MySQL. If you want, you can get like the names of all tables. We can copy and we need to modify this payload and the placeholder. Of course, I want to get the bWAPP. Okay, bWAPP. So the bWAPP we can copy and put over here. All right. So then we can maybe we can copy this part, and we can copy this payload and replace this string, and then we can here sorry, we need to use parentheses. Sorry about it. Okay, and we can copy entry. We can get the names of all tables. Okay, and if you want, you can get the names of all columns, and eventually we can retrieve data from a specific table. I'm not going to do that because the step would be very similar. Okay, so I think up to now I have already demonstrated how to review or how to understand source code of this application, which exists second-order SQL injection of vulnerability. Next, I show you particularly perform second-order SQL injection, and to retrieve user names information, database name information, the database schema, and so on and so forth. With that being said, that's pretty much it. I'd like to see you in the next one. Sorry. I forgot to mention this. As you know, creating these videos take time and effort. So if you really like to help support the channel, please consider making a donation through my Patreon. I appreciate every contribution and friends. Okay, see you in the next one. Bye. Have a good day, please.